Hello there, this is Commander Golson, and today I have a little tutorial for you guys in Far Cry 5's map editor. So, basically, the purpose of this is to make a Nazi zombie-esque kind of doorway, or something that will essentially prevent players from entering one door after choosing another door. And the way I see it, this creates a sense of not necessarily randomness, but it creates an aspect where you can unlock certain parts of your map while preventing players from going to other parts of the map, which honestly should help promote more replayability in the sense that you're essentially locking up parts of the map through different playthroughs. So every time you play the map, it could play a little differently based on what the player decides to do. So in order to set this up, you need to be using Steve's zombie mod, Steve64, I believe. And basically, I'm using these little doorways that you can use to spawn in and spawn out. I'm showing you the scripts right now. I have my trigger basically for the script. The first thing you want to do is essentially have it set to the first wave of enemies, and as soon as that first wave spawns in, you basically want to trigger a door to basically unspawn. So that way it's not there, and this will be the doorway that is there that could spawn in potentially when a player decides to unlock a different door. Next, you're going to want to go ahead and have a second door behind said door, and this is the door that is already there when the player will walk up into the area. This is the door that will disappear if the player chooses this particular door. So as you see right here, this destructible block will now be my trigger. That way, if the player decides to shoot this destructible block, it is what will despawn the door it's next to, but then spawn in a door blocking the other trigger. Therefore, the player cannot walk over and trigger the other doorway. I know this is sounding a bit winded. Admittedly, I know I'm not the best at describing things, and this is pre-recorded, but I'm hoping that you can follow the scripts in the video that I'm showing here, showing me do the scripting, and kind of, make it work for yourselves. So essentially you do this twice over. So basically each pair of doorways will fit into a room per se, and that room doesn't even have to be a room. It could be as large as like an entire freeway that just simply has two potential exits or entrances. So, but basically what matters the most is that one door will open while triggering a block for the other. So this is an early example where I was actually using a walkthrough trigger, but here we go with the actual triggers. So you'll notice that when I shoot this trigger, it opens up that door and it blocks the other trigger, so that in game I wouldn't be able to open that doorway then. It would be blocked to me. To which point I would then move on to the next room, and once again I would choose to open this door, but that would then block that door. So if you think of this in the context of an actual working map, if you have about, let's say, 6 different rooms or gameplay areas, every time the player plays the map, they could pick something different, which ultimately would shape the map into being different. If you're making like a Nazi zombie-esque sort of map, the map will end up kind of looking different every time the player plays the map, which hopefully would promote more replayability, because a lot of single player maps in Far Cry are very kind of one and done, and kind of my goal with these scripts was to find a way to kind of add some more replay value to the different maps that players will create for single player. But yeah, so as you can see here, this is the final result, and I hope that someone finds these scripts useful. I know there was a particular YouTuber making a couple Nazi zombie remakes a while back. He was doing I think his name was Snuggly Duckling or something, and I think something like this implemented on those Nazi zombie maps could actually be really interesting, because while they wouldn't play necessarily exactly like the classic Call of Duty maps themselves, it would, at least within the context of Far Cry, add kind of something new and kind of spice up that gameplay. So, but anyways, this has been Commander Colson. I hope you found this useful, and have a good day.